Agency Division, and I'm happy to welcome everybody to our Realty Relationship Program webinar. First of all, this is the highest attended webinar in Stevens history with 75 people registered. So have a little round of applause. Secondly, before we get going, I just want to briefly remind everybody of our upcoming sales conferences. The Western region is March 18th and 19th, located in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the lovely Monte Carlo. We currently have 45 people registered. Our room block is over, but you can still call and make reservations, and you just need to register, and you can find that information on SVL Online. Our second regional seminar, our Eastern region, is April 10th and 11th, located in lovely Frankenmuth, Michigan, which is right down the road from our corporate headquarters. So there's still time to join both places, and we encourage everybody to attend those if they're able to. So let's roll into our Realty Relationship Program. Today we're going to be focused on our three largest and most recent partners. First of all, Keller Williams, otherwise known as KW. We partnered with them in June of 2013, so we're almost a little over a year and a half into it, and it really didn't start kicking in until about the fall of 2013. So really just over a year of heavy momentum and a lot of great things going on, and you're going to learn more about that in a second. Our second most recent one is RE/MAX, which we partnered with starting January 1st, 2014, so just over a month old. And between Keller Williams and RE/MAX, we are partners with the two largest real estate companies in the world. And together, off the top of my head, that includes probably about 140,000 realtors. Our most recent addition is Realty Executives, which some company in the beginning that have added close to $500,000 in interstate and local revenue to all the things you should do to generate an hour here. And I want to turn it over to Katie Gerke, who is our agency trainer and works in our commercial agency division. And she's going to briefly talk about the webinar and questions, etc., before we turn it over to John Burkhart, who is our Director of Business Development that heads up our real estate program, along with Roger Weiss. So John's going to be the only one speaking, but before we get to John, Katie, take it.
Thanks, Maurice. Type in your question in the questions box, which is on the right hand of your screen. We are going to answer the questions at the end of the webinar. If there's anything that we don't have an answer to or a question that we couldn't get to, we are going to recap all of the questions, and we will send those out to everybody who participated today. The other thing is we are going to have this webinar posted on Stevens TV. Probably won't be this week, but hopefully by the end of next week you would be able to find it on there and everything would be referenced. With that being said, John, we will turn it over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Actually, I'd like to start off by talking a little bit about real estate in general. Over the last 3 years, real estate has taken off. It's starting to climb again. The last 2 months, it's been off a little bit, about 5.7%, and that's based on two items. One, the weather. It's been too cold and too snowy to look at new homes, is what we're being told. And second, lack of inventory. Once all that changes, they're expecting 2014 to be the strongest year since the last 10 years, so it's something to look forward to. KW. Last week we had the privilege of being at their family reunion with over 15,000 of their agents stopping by our booth and visiting with us. We were recognized. We were the only agent or vendor recognized at the show for our contributions as part of the company. So that is something that was important enough that 200 people stopped by and thanked us for being part of the vendor program. So I want you to know that this is a program Keller Williams really appreciates Stevens, Van Lines, and their agents being part of. Next slide. Hello?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, Keller Williams is a real estate based company out of Austin, Texas. It was founded in 1983. Right now it has in excess of 90,000 real estate agents. It operates over 700 market centers. They do not call themselves offices or realty offices. They are market centers across the U.S. and Canada. And they have over 320 business centers. And a business center is if it's going to grow enough to get to a point to where they can pay the franchise fees. And it is presently the second largest real estate company in the U.S. And over the last 5 years, while a lot of real estate companies have stayed stagnant or actually fallen behind, Keller Williams has grown 38%. There are 4 major groups for Keller Williams, and actually this fits into all of us. They have the Keller Williams Realty Group, which is what most of us will call on and hope to do business with. They have the Luxury Home Division, which is really a large division throughout Keller Williams, and these folks specialize in the top 10% of any real estate market. So it would be important when you go into their offices to find out who's involved in their luxury home division and work with those folks. Keller Williams Commercial Division has grown. When we started with this program 2 years ago, it wasn't very big. Today they have over 1,600 agents across the country. They're growing. They want to become the #1 commercial realty group in the country, so they're really pressing on it right now. And Keller Williams and growing. So it's something for us to even get involved with their international group. Before we get into the program itself, 30 agents that have had results with over 100 market centers. And I think that's important to look at. We're growing, adding more and more agents, more OA and DA work. You'll find that a lot of the leads you get start and originate from somewhere outside of your area, which is a good thing. 50% of what you do is going to be local business, but that other 50% is important business. So I just want you to keep that in mind. As for the referral program, Keller Williams feedback for all of their referrals. We give them a 4% referral fee on all interstate, intrastate, and local business. And that's important to know that on all business we do with them, they will get 4% back on all the line haul. 2% of that goes back to the market center right in your area. So the market centers that you're calling on are going to benefit monetarily wise by every referral they give you. 0.5% goes back to the regional owners, and the regional owners normally handle about 30 different offices, so it benefits them to get every one of their offices involved in this program. And 1.5% goes back to KWRI, and that's to run the program, to reach out, to advertise for us, to do everything else. So, every dime is out there. It's not as if any of it is profiting anybody. It's being used for the program itself. Most market centers do not know anything at all about the last 2%. So all I ever talk about when I go into a market center is the 2%. I don't talk about anything else. Obviously, the big draw on this is the valuation. Their customers receive $75,000 worth of free valuation with a $250 deductible. There is no cost to that. That is a big selling point. The second selling point is the $100,000 full value, which is zero deductible, and that is a cost of $190 to the customer. I actually sell that more than I sell the free valuation, because the free valuation always comes into play. Somebody ends up with a small claim, and then they're told the $250 pays for it. I'd rather them just pay the $190 up front, have $100,000 worth of coverage, and everybody's happy. So, and you will find that, you are welcome to talk to any of our agents that are already doing business with them, how easy it is and how much this is accepted. The free valuation and the discounted valuation is a big selling point. The 5 top agents that we have right now for the Keller Williams program are N.L. Wilson, Executive Moving and Storage, Apex, Harrington Moving and Storage, and Cousins USA. And you are welcome to call any of them. They will tell you the positives and the negatives of this program, but it is really a great program to get started in. Getting in the door, Williams. Each one of them have different names for us, but for Keller Williams, it is an approved vendor. Keller Williams has a website that's called MyKW. It is, every employee of Keller Williams gets a sign-in onto it, and other agents to refer, but it also has an affiliate side, and that affiliate side is broke down into classifications. We are under the mover classification. So a lot of times I get a phone call that says, I contacted the Keller Williams office and nobody knew of us. All you have to tell them is to go to MyKW, go into the moving section, and they will find us immediately. I mean, we're one of 2 movers, and we're sitting right there. The biggest thing that does is validate our relationship. Once they see us there, they know that we're part of it. It tells them how long we've been there, and it actually gives them a breakdown of all of the benefits that they receive by dealing with Stevens Van Lines. Another question I get asked a lot is, I'm already involved with other realty companies. What's going to happen if they find out I'm doing business with someone else? They cannot tell their agents who to use. Their agents cannot tell their customers who to use. We are only being referred to them as a source of a move. So the more sources they have, the better it is for them. So the fact that you represent more than one really doesn't mean anything. As a matter of fact, all 3 companies that we represent right now know about each other, and it was because of our relationship with Keller Williams, and it's because of our relationship with Keller Williams and RE/MAX that we got Realty Executive. So they don't mind it. Believe me, it's not going to be any type of a, nobody's going to look bad on you about that. As for one of the things that we found out when we were at Family Reunion is that Atlas Van Lines has really stepped up their sales. And one of the things that was said to me was, well, how is that going to affect us? The positive thing about calling on these companies is that if you can get 25 to 40% of the realtors to start referring you, you've done very, very well. Normally, you're going to get about 10 to 15%, and we'll get into which 10 or 15% you want to call on. So that just tells you that if somebody else is in there and they're getting 10 or 15%, there's a lot of business to go around. So the fact that there's two of us means nothing. Again, the more relationships you have, the more you're going to grow. The second real estate company that we went after was RE/MAX. RE/MAX is the largest realty company in the world. They are a Denver, Colorado-based company. They were formed in 1973. Right now, they have in excess of 93,000 agents in over 90 countries, with 55,000 of them in the United States. They have 6,500 offices, again, with over 3,300 offices in the U.S. Their offices are not as big as Keller Williams. The average office size for Keller Williams is 170 agents. The average office size for RE/MAX is 70. To break that down, Keller Williams has they believe that 20% of their agents do 80% of the work. Where RE/MAX doesn't believe that. RE/MAX believes that all of their agents do all of their work. So just because Keller Williams has 170 agents on average doesn't mean that you don't want to call on the offices with RE/MAX for 40 or 50 agents. They're just as important and they do just as much business. They are, as I stated, the largest real estate company in the world. They have grown 27% in the last 5 years. Again, most of the realty companies have gone down. The first two that we've mentioned, Keller Williams and RE/MAX, have gone up. They also have a huge relocation division, which we're working on getting into right now. We feel that we're a perfect fit for that, and it would drive business to all of our agents. They have 3 divisions. Their first one is the RE/MAX real estate offices. That's their franchises. They're very big into calling them franchises. They are normally run by a broker, and normally what I've run into is there's a managing broker. There might be more than one broker that's a partner in a RE/MAX office, but there's a managing broker that you have to get to know. The RE/MAX Collection Group is another group just like the luxury home group of Keller Williams. And what that is again, the top 10% of the realty prices in any given area. So if you can go in and find out who's working their RE/MAX Collection Group, again, you'll be dealing with the upper echelon, and the moves are a little bit bigger, and they tend to spend a little bit more money. And then RE/MAX Commercial today is the #1 commercial group in the country. Nobody comes close to them. Not any of the commercial realty groups. Nobody comes close to the amount of real estate that they sell and the amount of agents that they have on the street. So if you're doing O&I work, if you're interested in office and industrial moves, RE/MAX is a good fit for you, and every office has someone dealing with that. The difference between RE/MAX and Keller Williams are major. As we stated, Keller Williams is a referral fee program where they get a % of everything that comes back. RE/MAX is not like that. It is not a referral fee program. Every time you go into their office, you have to find their button that's going to turn them on and let you into the office. I have been into about 15 or 20 of them so far, and each one is different. They're harder to get into. The biggest reason that they're harder to get into is because where the culture at Keller Williams is to have weekly meetings and training and everything, RE/MAX believes that they have more seasoned veterans, that their real estate agents are with them because they don't want to be hassled with weekly meetings, that they don't want to be involved with training, that they've done all this already. So it's harder to get in front of them. The few meetings they have, they don't want vendors involved. We've been lucky enough so far that we've been invited into their office in San Antonio, Texas, down in Orlando, Florida, and a few other points. As a matter of fact, I was down in with a new agent of ours, Christian Family Movers, just 3 weeks ago. We stopped at 4 Keller Williams offices and 2 Remaxes, and out of those 6 calls, they ended up with 3 breakfasts and 3 lunches. Tremendous response. We're finding that the word is getting out about us, and more people want us into their office, and they want to visit with us. Again, Remax is a little bit different. You have to find what it's going to take to get into that office. They all want relationships. They all want sponsorships. They all want you to be involved. You just have to press that issue. You choose what's best for you. You may find I have an agent right now that is offering 2%, and they're writing the check at the end of every month to Remax. That's up to you. If that's what you want to do, that's your business. We have other ones that are sponsoring their events. You need to find what's going to work for them. This needs to benefit both of you, not only them, but you. One of the things that you find is that you can spend a lot of money sponsoring events, supporting their programs. That's just trying to buy business. You know, there's nothing wrong with sponsoring events and doing a few events, but you have to make sure it's worth your while, and they have to realize that. And we will talk about that later. Again, they get the same thing. They get the discounted valuation, the very same thing as KW. They get the $75,000 valuation with the $250 deductible, no cost to their customer. Or the $100,000 full value, 0 deductible, with a $190 cost. And from what I understand, that's about a $400 or $500 savings. So that's a big, a big savings for them. Getting in the door with Remax. Again, we're an approved supplier. Where we're an approved vendor with KW, we're an approved supplier with Remax. They have a website called Main Street. Main Street is the same thing as the MyKW. It's a website that their people get, are allowed to go into. They get information on all of their different offices across the country. They also get, information about all the vendors such as us. One of the big benefits of dealing with Remax is when we started the program with Remax, Remax handed us 95,000 email addresses. And we are allowed to send out 1 email blast per month to everybody. So this is something that we want to work on as a company. We want to perfect it. We want to offer it to you as agents, not every month, but occasionally, to be able to send out a detailed, selected email to a group of people that you're trying to come to grips with, and just really target that area for yourselves. That is something that KW does not do for us. KW does not allow us to do that. The only way that we can send out an email blast is if we go out and collect the emails, if we go out and collect the business cards and get our own database. So there's a big advantage with us being with Remax. The big thing with Remax also is we're the only moving company. They have never had a moving company in this program. They do have pods, but pods is not our competition. So it's a positive thing. Every time I've gone into it, into an office, I've actually had people say, we were waiting for this step for them to bring a moving company in, and they were glad that they did. So I think that you'll find it may take a little bit more to get in, but once you get in, you're going to be very, very firm with them. The next one that we got into was Realty Executives. Realty Executives is somewhat like Stevens Van Lines. They're the 7th largest realty company in the country. They're not the largest, but they're the best. Their agents are not called agents, they're called executives. If you call up and say, I'd like to talk to a realtor, a realty executive, you know, they're going to tell you, oh, one of our executives. That's what they call them. They believe in that. Their home office is in Phoenix, Arizona. It's a small home office compared to the other two that I've called on. They were founded in 1965. They are in over 32 countries, including the U.S. and Canada. They operate 500 offices, of which about 365 of them are here in the U.S., with about 10,000 agents. Again, they have a large relocation division. It's the one thing that I found working with realty executives. The first thing they asked me is if we could do moves from state to state and get involved with some of the companies that they're dealing with. So I think that this is going to be very beneficial to everyone. They have a motto, and that's one of the things that they stressed upon me, is that they believe that people should be put before profit. I'm sure we all believe the same thing. So, divisions of realty executives, 3 major groups. Domestic Realty Group, again, that's the one that we'll mostly be doing business with. International division. They have a larger international division right now than KW does. I don't expect to say that by next year, but right now they're fairly good size. And their commercial division has been there a long time. They do a lot of business, and I think, again, the agents that deal with office and industrial and office relocations will want to call on realty executives. Realty executives is exactly like RE/MAX. It is not a referral-based, referral fee program. This is, you go in and you find common ground. You know, get involved with their offices. This is what it's all about. The more agents that you get to know, the more agents that you get a relationship with, the better off you are. And with realty executives, I know here in Cleveland, they've been trying to build a relationship with us for a while, and I think that this is going to take it right over the top for us. You create your own local program with realty executives. Now, they're not everywhere, but where they are, they're going to be strong. However you want to proceed, go in there and just talk to them about support. Talk to them about raising their customers to a national account status. Talk to them about service and being there when they need them. It needs to benefit both of you, and you need to be consistent with what you say. I tell people that, if you notice on every one of these, whether it's RE/MAX, KW, or Realty Executives, be consistent and follow through on your commitments. That is very, very important to these folks. If you do that, it's going to continue on. And as you see, the discount evaluation stays the same. This way, I don't have to worry when I'm talking to KW or RE/MAX or Realty Executives, is anybody getting any better than we are? Nobody's getting any better. You're all basically getting the same thing. So, and as long as they know that, all they're looking for is service, service, service. So, getting in the door with Realty Executives. Registered supplier. Again, registered vendor and approved supplier are the other two. This one, we're a registered supplier. They have a monthly newsletter that goes out. It's called the Roundup. That Roundup is only about the vendors. It doesn't have any other stories. It doesn't tell them anything else. It just talks to them about the vendors. Last month, we put a little offer in there. It was a very safe one. We will be talking to all of our agents about what do we want to do in the future. They highlight the vendors that offer something, whether it's 3 free boxes, free valuation, whatever it is, whatever above and beyond what we offer them all the time. Every month they will highlight it and send it to all 10,000 of their agents, and they will see our name. It will then, when they press on our ad, it will then take them into our landing page, so there's a lot of positive stuff about it. Again, the monthly newsletter validates our relationship, and again, we're the only moving company involved with Realty executives. And if we do the right things, we can keep it that way. And that's really, really important to do. Resources. Most of the resources that we have right now are myself, you have Roger, and you have our CAD group, which is a great group. You can contact Judy, Katie, Tammy, any of them, anytime. They will work with you and help you through anything that you have. Do you want to go to the next? Sales material. We have some fantastic sales material out there now. At first I know it was a little shaky, but it's getting better and better and better as we go along. Brenda and the marketing team are really working on it. They're doing a lot of work with it right now. They're getting better with it on a day-to-day basis. You want to be able to count on what we have at the Stevens shop. As you know, these three programs are our Stevens Van Line programs. We have to get approval for everything that we put out there. We cannot just put a piece of literature out there in one of their market centers or one of their Realty offices without getting approval from the home office. So please, we ask one of two things. Go to SVL Online, go to the Stevens shop, go to the Realty program area in there, look at what we have now. We'll be adding more stuff in there, and the quality has really gotten better. The pieces are better. Second, if you feel the need to do your own, that's fine. Send it to myself, send it to Katie, send it to Judy. We'll get it approved or tell you what you have to do to get it approved. Then we'll go from there. But do not just put pieces out there. I have a few agents that can tell you what happens when they do that. So what I can tell you about that. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Katie. Katie's going to go through the tracking of the shipments, tell you exactly what we have to do. Katie?
Thank you. Tracking shipments really is the key step for our continued success, especially on interstate shipments. They need to be registered correctly. This page on registering a shipment, there's a few key things that have to be done in order for us to track the shipment. The first arrow is choosing the correct tariff. That is the SVL RE tariff. That's our real estate tariff. And the next thing is the correct real estate partner. And obviously your options are Keller Williams, RE/MAX, and Realty Executives. The next thing you should fill in is the market center name, and then track who your realtor, or put in who your realtor is. The bottom lines under order info, under the Corp Bill 2, will automatically fill in based off the correct real estate partner that you choose. If for some reason Keller Williams, their customer number is 44184, RE/MAX is 69417, and Realty Executives is 69419. All right, John, are you there?
I am.
Okay.
Being successful is based purely on yourself. You know, as I stated, I named you 5 agents that have really excelled at this. And how they've excelled is by following the program. They followed the program, added some stuff along the way. We have some that are very creative with social media. We have some that are very social with staying in contact with them on a monthly basis. There are many ways to do it, but it starts with the basic. Basics are, all 3 companies are relationship-driven companies. You can get into the broker, You can get to know the team leaders very well. You can get to know the operating principles very well and the partners. But the people that are going to make you successful are the agents. So you need to get in and get to know as many agents as you can. And you need to get to know them on a personal level. It doesn't hurt. I mean, everybody needs friends. So make as many friends as you can. It really makes a difference. The only way to succeed is to build relationships with the agents. There's just no other way to do it. One of the things that I found is when you go into these offices, you always have to discuss how it benefits them as much as you. I mean, when you walk into an office and you're talking about giving their customers free valuation, and you're talking about giving their customers, elevating them to national account status, you know, you're talking about all the things you're going to do for them. You got to let them know that the only way you can do that for them is by them giving you the referrals so that you get the opportunity to go after the business. The reasons you should do this are really simple. Referred customers book at a higher percent. I would say I'm being told that the average estimator books about 40% of the estimates he goes out on, anywhere from 30 to 40%. Where a referral from a real estate company books anywhere from 70 to 80%. I'd rather invest my time, effort, and money in going after something I have a 70 to 80% chance of locking down than I do a 30 to 40% chance. 50% of this business is going to be interstate. It's going to be for Stephen. It's going to benefit us. But the other 50% is going to benefit you. It's going to benefit you locally. It's going to intrastate business and your storage. I would say more than half of the agents that started this program now have separate programs that they sell to Keller Williams, RE/MAX, and everything about decluttering and specialized storage programs. It's stuff that can really, really benefit you. So this is a good reason to do it. You also get involved with the community. I've been doing this for over 60 years. Well, no, let's correct that. I've been doing this for over 40 years. And the fact of the matter is that I've never been involved in the community like I am now, and it's because of Keller Williams. Keller Williams has got me into every part of the community right now through fundraisers, through community involvements, and everything else. It doesn't hurt to get more involved where you live. One of the big reasons to get involved in this is as your relationship grows, and it will grow, your advertising costs decrease. People no longer do business with you because you're sponsoring their dinners or you're sponsoring their breakfasts. They do business with you because it's you, and they want to do business with you every day. So that is something to realize. That's what relationships bring into this. The second thing, which is really important, is these are your relationships. They're not mine. They're not Stephen's. They're your relationships. We hope that you keep them in the Stevens family forever, but they're your relationships. So when you're out there building them, remember that. The three things that are really important, I've said this since day one when I started here almost 2 years ago, is you need to invest time. You really need to invest time in this because it does take time. It takes time for you to go out of your way to offices. You need to walk into these offices. You need to not just walk in and say hello to the girl up front. You need to take time and go back into the offices and meet everybody that's back there. You need to take the effort to do that because so many salespeople find it easier just to go back to the office and hope the telephone rings. You know what? Make the phone ring yourself. The people that are successful right now are not counting on the office to give them estimates. They're coming up with their own estimates, and that's what you need to do. Invest. You're going to invest some money in this. It's not going to be a ton of money. Again, you can buy the business and spend a lot of money, but what happens is when you quit spending the money, then the business stops. But while you're spending a little bit of money sponsoring events, you got to build the relationships. You got to get out there and continue to build the relationships. Get to know people on a one-to-one basis. When they give you opportunities to go to their dinners or to meet them after work for a few drinks or to go to their church and help on a project, take those opportunities. That's what it takes. I'll tell you right now, don't start this unless you're willing to provide all three of those. If you are, it's going to work for you. I have an agent that me and Roger were talking about this morning. This agent loves his program, but he is so busy with everything else he does. He does more office and industrial than anything else, that he worked with me for about a year, got 5 or 6 offices involved in it, and then his other business took off really strong, so he hasn't been calling on this. It's been over a year since he's invested any time or effort in this, and you know, at family reunion last week, we had 3 of the offices stop by and ask us, where was he? They were still giving him leads and referrals, and he wasn't calling them. So just to tell you, if you take the effort, if you take the time, this is going to pay for yourself. And even if you have a lapse where you have, a salesperson leaves you, you get busy in the summertime, they're not going to forget you. They're going to continue and bring their business to you. Most moving companies will go into real estate offices once, maybe twice, and then they quit. They think that because they spend a little bit of money, do an advertisement in their book, supply a lunch, that's going to get them the business. That is not what it is. It's the relationship. This is like a corporate account. You're never going to walk into a corporate account and book all those moves on one call. It takes multiple calls to get anything going, and that's the same thing with this. So if you take the time, if you take the effort, and you make that small investment, I guarantee you that it will come back tenfold for you. Next. Top 10 things you should know. I will send you all the information you need. If I don't have it, between Katie, Roger, Judy, Tammy, all of us, we will get it for you. Know the vocabulary. Example, KW offices are market centers, RE/MAX offices are called Realty offices, executive Realty agents are called executives. Learn a little bit before you walk into them. Go on the internet. The internet will tell you a whole lot about these companies that we're calling on. But what you don't learn there, come to us. We'll teach you everything you need to know. One of the things that you're trying to do is create a long-term relationship that will benefit everyone. I guarantee you, you put in 2 to 3 years building these relationships and you stop, you'll benefit from it 5 years beyond that point. It'll keep coming back to you. That's what relationships are all about. We are only the second mover that has become a national vendor for KWRI. We are the biggest. There's no question. We are the biggest for KWRI right now, and I want to stay that way. We are the only mover that is an approved supplier for RE/MAX and Realty executives. Let the ownership and leaders know that you want to be involved in all opportunities they have. That way you can pick and choose what you want. I have people that call me up and say, John, the only phone calls I get are they want me to sponsor a $500 event or a $1,000 event or $1,500 event. And the reason is because that's the only time they hear from you, is when they call you to sponsor something. If you're in those offices every 2 weeks and you're talking with them, you're going to find out about opportunities that only cost you a pizza and a 6-pack of soda. But you've got to be there to find out about that. Find out about everything that they do, and you'll get more and more involved at less and less money. Make it a point of meeting everybody in the office. I don't care who it is, everyone's important. The more time that you take in the offices, the better off you are. And don't walk into an office without any brochures. Don't walk into an office without any business cards. There are too many of our agents that walk in and they don't have the supplies needed to become successful. Make sure you have all those supplies when you walk in. I always talk about the 2% referral at KW for about 2 minutes. I just tell them about the program, but then I walk away. I start telling them about the benefits of what we can do for their customers. I tell them about the benefits we can do for them. You know what? Realtors screw up. When they screw up, you got to call your partner. You call your partner, let us help you. Let us help you get out of trouble. In the middle of the summer, when nobody else will move your clients, your partner will be there to take care of you. That's what I sell. I sell that more than I sell the 2%. Okay. Talk about the discounted valuation. It is a big deal. It is a big deal. Talk about saving them that $400 or $300 on the $75,000 with the $250 and the $400,000 on the $100,000 with zero deductible. Talk to them about that. Bring up the guaranteed pricing, you know, the either or. Bring that up. Make it sound like, hey, we've invented that for them. Let them know that you're going to support them and you're going to take care of their customer. It's really important. That's things that I find myself, when I get phone calls from clients, because I've specified the national account status and because I've specified the deduction in the pricing of the valuation, customers start off with that. I hear that I'm going to save money on my insurance, and we're able to go right into things. Let them know about their customers, how their customers will be treated as a national account. And I know that you're thinking that, is that really going to happen? I have to tell you, I've reached out many, many times to our operations department, and yes, they do look at Keller Williams and RE/MAX and Realty executives as a national account, and they will work with us. Again, if you have an issue and you don't feel you're getting anywhere, talk to us, talk to myself, talk to Roger, talk to Judy, talk to Katie, talk to Tammy, talk to any of us in CAD. We will make sure that we make it a priority for you. Now, my favorite thing and everybody's not so favorite thing is, remember, never go into an office empty-handed. I promise that the small things that you bring into that office will open many doors for you. And I just challenge you this. Don't talk to me about it. I gave you the name of 5 or 6 offices. Call them. Ask them the difference of walking into these offices with nothing as opposed to walking in there with a little treat. I mean, it's mind-boggling. You wouldn't think that a cookie is going to do as much as it does. But in real estate offices, it truly does. And last but not least, don't give up. Don't stop at the front desk. Don't visit only once. You know, that gatekeeper, that woman that works the front desk or the man that works the front desk, he's there for a reason. He's there to stop people like us. But they don't really want to stop us. They want us to become part of their family. Keep going in there. I promise you, if you keep going in there, you'll become part of the family, and eventually you'll walk in, you'll say hello, and just keep going, just like we do in about 100 different offices across the country. I'm going to bring Maury into this now. Maury's going to talk to you about the 2014 changes. And please feel free to reach out to anybody from CAD. We'd love to work you into this program and get things going. Maury?
Thanks, John. Nice job. First of all, I want to talk about a few changes we're going to try to make over the next 90 days. These aren't in place yet, so please continue to do the program as it was written. But first of all, we're going to continue to build this real estate relationship program. John said referral business has a higher closing ratio than any other kind of business, and we would all agree that is true. So the more we can add partners, and each agent can add different real estate companies in their own markets, the more business we're all going to benefit from. So we will continue to look for larger real estate partnerships that have national coverage. We're also going to revisit our current Keller Williams program and try to restructure it and ask for the following changes going into next year. We're going to, and this is all in negotiation with Keller Williams in the next 90 days, so it is not set in stone. So those people that are doing Keller Williams do not speak about it. But we are going to try to remove the 4% that's reporting on the local and intra shipments, and this is really just a restructure. One issue we're having is a lot of agents aren't reporting the 4% when they should be, and they are doing business. We're going to propose a 2% referral fee on the interstate only, and the 2% will be taken off the top and shared with the Booker, Holler, and Stevens, because everybody will benefit from this business that is being invested by Stevens and the agents. And that is what RE/MAX is currently is only 2% off the interstate business. So we're trying to align all the programs under the same umbrella and terms. And since we're removing the 4% on local and intra, we want to move to more of a lump sum payment to Keller Williams, RE/MAX, and the national partnerships. And we're going to have to look at capturing some revenue to offset those costs, but that is one reason we're doing it, and I'm going to move that in a second. I am reviewing and going to modify the policy number 601, and that is the current contribution of 0.75% on the bookings. I'm probably going to increase that to help support this program because it is a proven success if it is worked correctly, and that helps offset the van life's continued investment in having John and Roger and the lump sum payments to these real estate programs to help invest in the continued growth. I also am looking, we're going to monitor the valuation program, and John said it before. What we're currently seeing is a lot of agents selling the 75 with a $250 deductible. The problem with that is the sales reps are not explaining it in the home, and when the claim comes in and they're reminded that they have to pay the first $250, we get into a customer service issue because they're not happy. So we will continue to tell everybody to try to sell the $100,000 at $190. That way we don't have any issues. If we have any issues, a lot of that is called goodwill, and the goodwill is paid by the booker. So for those salespeople out there and managers or owners listening, please convince and educate your sales staff on selling the $190. And it is, from I know it is, roughly a $400 or $500 savings. I want to talk, before I go into the next slide, just a couple things John mentioned on the sales literature. This is a Stevens Van Lines program, and you cannot modify or make your own literature to go into the offices. RE/MAX and Keller Williams will come after us. So if you're thinking about doing something or modifying, it has to be run through the CAD department and or the marketing department. There aren't any current penalties for doing your own. I do not want to have to make any up, but please, we continue to enhance what we have currently available to offer agents on all three programs. If you have another real estate office that you want to just tweak our current literature by swapping out the RE/MAX with Hometown Realty or whatever, we can look at doing that. We're also adding a customer service advocate here at Stevens to help work through some of the real estate issues that come up, and that is in development, and also that is one reason why we're changing part of the program percentage-wise to help fund that service. Now I will go into the real estate program that works. We have 30-plus agents that have currently successfully gotten business from Keller Williams. RE/MAX we're just rolling out, and RE/MAX will be even bigger. John Burkhart cannot be everywhere, is probably going to be in only major markets, but that does not mean all of our agents can't participate in it. And that was one reason why we invited everybody to this webinar and went through how to register shipments, and also offer, you can call John, you can call Kat on helping you walk through how do I register a shipment. Hey, I'm out at this house, it's got a RE/MAX sign, can I use the program? Yes, you can. We just need the realtor name and et cetera, but we really want you building those relationships in the markets and it's just not working off the signs. It takes a commitment from the agency principal and the sales staff, because if you make a commitment, the program will work. Perseverance, that's a big word, but that comes to generating the business. You have to be, perseverance, you really just need to have to keep calling on the offices. You need to be out there once a month. More than that, the business is just going to start rolling through the door as it is with a lot of our agents. Investment, it takes a small investment, your time, and also I'd come up with an annual marketing spend that you want to commit to the program. If that's dropping off cookies in the morning, if that's sponsoring an awards banquet, which they usually invite you to, or a luncheon, have those funds, and when you sit down and do your marketing budget, allocate money towards this, because again, this is the #1 referral program and it will work if you work it right. Service, you need to protect your customer. You know, the more an agent can self-haul and control the shipment from booking to delivery, the better service they're going to get. My name is on the truck. We have great drivers, but we know capacity is an issue, and the more you can control your customer, the better off and better service they're going to get. If you do these 4 things, you're going to get an ROI, which is a return on your investment. And you can contact John, and he can put you in touch with some agents on, hey, you know, what works best, what doesn't work. Also, again, our sales conferences coming up in March and April. We're going to go more in depth in all these programs and the how-tos. So if you haven't registered, I strongly encourage you to. We have, like I said, 45 people registered to go Las Vegas, just a couple in Saginaw, but that's still about over a month away. With Las Vegas, it's March 18th and 19th. Our room block is closed, but you can still book at the hotel and register up to probably a week out. More information is on SBL Online on those sales conferences, and the meeting in April is April 10th and 11th, which is located in Frankenmuth, Michigan. I just learned of one thing today that and I know a couple agents are doing it. There actually one of their salespeople actually has an office in one of the local Keller Williams real estate offices. So that's one way you can really partner. A salesperson can work anywhere. Why not work right out of a real estate office? If you can get it to that level, that's fantastic. So we're wrapping up here. We're a little over an hour here. And next steps, for more information, please contact John. Like I said, we had 75 people registered on here, so sending John an email might be a little better so his phone doesn't light up like a Christmas tree. His email is up there. His cell phone, which he only gives out to special people, which all of you are. And Roger Weiss, who also supports the program, his email is there as well. And most of you have Roger's number, and you can get a hold of him. And lastly, and not least, but probably even greater, we got the CAD department here at headquarters, and you can talk to Judy, Katie, or Tammy, and they can answer any questions with you, especially when it comes to how to register a shipment. Okay? And there's that big word that I tripped over my tongue on, perseverance. Is a great element of success. If you knock long enough and loud enough at the gate, you're sure to wake up somebody. And that is by someone named Mr. Longfellow. So with that, I think we are wrapped up. This will be posted on SBL Online once we get that up and running. If anybody would want a copy of this, I'm sure we can get it to you with your sales staff. But again, and if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to myself as well. And like I said, we are really excited about this relationship, and will continue to grow. And you know, the biggest thing is with the local revenue that this generates from a van line agent relationship, all the local business is retained by the agent. And what we're seeing is at least half or more, this is locally generated business. So this is another program that Stevens has invested into and will continue to support to help make our agents. Oh, with that, I got to go into questions. I apologize for that. Right now, we only have one, and it is, what is the difference in claim value between valuation and full valuation? I'm not sure what that means, but I think what you're asking is we put valuation in there and we didn't put full valuation in, and it is full valuation is what we're selling, the 75 and 100, the full valuation, not 60 cents. So hopefully I clarified that for the person that put that up there. If we did not, please contact CAD so we can explain that more in depth. And we're going to wait just another 20 seconds here to see if any other questions pop up. I'm sure you have a lot of them, and you'll probably contact us directly, but we'll wait 10 more seconds here. With that, thank you. We almost had everybody on the phone call, the conference call, webinar. Oh, how is this not considered a kickback? Please contact us directly on that because it's not a kickback. Any other questions? Okay. Who absorbs the cost of evaluation? Currently, the way it's and then make sure they compare their estimates to make sure everybody else included full value protection. Okay, with that, please contact CAD, John Burkhart, Roger Weiss, or myself with any other questions. And like I said, very exciting. Meet with your team next. And we will go from there because it's a winner. Thank you, and see you guys in Vegas or Frankenmuth.